Cheers, everybody. This is George Snowmaid Pop. Probably not, it's not actually not that bad. Not too much sugar in it, but it tastes good. It's a Soda Stream. I know how to use it so I don't explode things. So that's what I am playing with. Today, I went to the office. Not too bad. I'm bored, so I'm just doing a video for the sake of argument. Office is cleaner than it's ever been before. Not super, a bit better. So sort of organized. And there's, on this side, way more organized. I can actually get to the printer, get to my PCs, all that kind of stuff. Can actually have 3, 4, 5 people in here and not ram into anything, which is kind of cool. What else? Not really sure. Better to bring the camera up. Stop moving things. So I have one of my planes up there, my anonymous masks. See, the area's not too bad. Computer blinking away. My parts. My printer easy to get to. 3D printer over there too with my other printer. And a steering wheel from a PS3, but USB can work on my other stuff. Put that back, almost there. Yay! So, oh yeah. And one of the kids is doing some English training over over the network or the internet. So I got to upgrade one of the old laptops and put an SSD in it. It's not a big one. It's only 240 gig. But I'm waiting for a new fan for it. Like for Lily's, ordered a fan for her machine. I'm going to install that. I could do a video on that. It's just a pain in the ass doing the putting the fan in her machine. Little weird spot to connect the power button. I hate doing that, but we'll do it anyways. What else? Well, yeah, little pet project here. This is a 4-channel SATA thing. I screwed up the switch here. So what I plan to do is get myself a nice toggle switch because it's got 3 settings on here with the switch and there's no switch on it, right? So I'm going to find a 3-way toggle switch where I can go mode A, B, C and go from there because I want it on the outside of the card. Being inside's a pain in the ass. Got to open the case because it's got 3 boot modes. One's AHCI, which gotta be careful that one. There's no boot. Doesn't seem to work very good. And there's another one called IDE boot. That one seems to be a failsafe. So I want to put a jumper on it. The AHCI boot is better. Gives you more capability. Depends what you're running. Are you running CD-ROMs or whatever, or hard drives or SATA drives, or not? I mean SSDs. So want to put a jumper on that. I don't like the switch there. It was crap and it fell off anyways. But anyways, this is actually not a bad card, ignoring that switch problem. The thing, we should do some drone training soon. This is my cable to connect my transmitter. Actually, I should do that. Maybe I'll do some flight sim stuff. I can do that with my flight sim software. You can see how crappy I fly. Actually, it's easier to fly with the flight sim than it is to actually fly with an airplane. Because you crash, you don't care. If you're with a real plane and it crashes like a RC, then you're crying because you have to repair it. Or you lose it in a tree and maybe pay someone to get it down. The question is it worth going down? But you want to get it back, so you're going to pay someone anyways, even if it's destroyed. Kind of stupid, but that's the way it is. Also studying for the new Canadian drone rules. I think the way I'm going to look at those drone rules is all those pricks who bought drones and don't know how to use it and just screw around the airports have made it bad for everybody. The good thing is if you have a drone or helicopter or miniature plane under 250 grams, which is half a pound, I think, then you don't have to do anything. You just fly it because it ain't gonna do anything. Anything bigger, up to I think I can't remember the number, 25 kg or something like that. They are a certain class. Basically, it's a basic pilot license. If, from what I understand, if you're at a Mac field, then you're not. The rules are a little different, but I still haven't seen clarification on that. I think that's important to find out because previously Mac rules were, if you're on a Mac field and you're a Mac person, none of the rules mattered. You follow the Mac rules, which is I think what they should stay with. Maybe a letter to the federal government, tell them to clean up their act would be good. But for the morons who just go buy a fancy drone at London Drugs or Best Buy and go raise shit, you're wrecking the hobbies for everybody, and you need to stop it. Because you think it's cool to buy $1,000 or $2,000 drone, do stupid things like go at the beach or fly over, and shouldn't be doing that because you can hurt someone badly. And there's a lot of accidents that have happened. And then we had idiots in UK play the drone game at an airport. Why would you do that for? You're just destroying the hobby for everybody else. But anyways, the test for basic, bit of a pain in the ass. They have a lot of questions have to do with weather, and they want the technical terms. They'll ask you questions like, what's the radio frequency for the tower at whatever airport? And I'm like, how am I supposed to know that? I'm not having a radio to talk to the tower. I'm at a Mac field, so I don't give a fuck about the tower. And Mac fields are normally in areas that are non-controlled airspace, so you don't have those issues. Anyways, I'll learn it and go from there. The problem I have is I have on a device I probably have to register. You saw a plane over there, the wings off it, it's up there. P-52, I think. That one, I'm going to have to probably register. Then I have a Beaver. I'm not going to fly probably this year, so I won't register it yet. It's a DHC2 with pontoons or wheels, up to you. Right now it's in the box, so they're all apart. And then I've got little helicopters, which are really light, so they're under the 250, no problem. You'll notice that I have 1, 2, 3 there. One's in the box. I haven't taken it out. That one I'll practice in the house with, probably in the next little while on the weekends when I'm bored, or maybe in the backyard. It's really light, so it's not going to be in that weight issue. This one might get in the weight issue. I think it's heavier because it's steel, so I'll may or may not I'll probably register that unless I fly it in the house only. A bit big to fly. And then I've got 3 custom-built drones. 2 of them are carbon fiber, but they're in between. They're the original racing drones, so I think that may be a bit of an issue. I might seriously look at getting maybe 2 new frames, lighter. If I can keep it under 250, that would be good. I don't have to worry about registering them. But the big boy, I've got one that's got 6 propellers. It's huge. That's right there. See, you see there's 3 drones there. It's kind of confusing. The one on the bottom is a racing. One in the middle is the big boy. And there's a little one sitting on the top with the red propellers. That's another racing one. The one on the green propellers and the one on the top of the red propellers is the same kind of drone. So they're $5 to register, so it's not a big issue. So I'll take the course and run on the Mac field only, get some training this year. And then I have a little plane up there. It's P-41. Up there. So that one, I'll definitely do more work on that one. That's the one I really want to practice with this year. That's too light. I won't have to register that either. So just basically the P-52 and the 3 drones will cost me $20, $5 a aircraft, so not too bad. Rules are a pain in the ass, so I got to study. And every time you do a test and you fail it, you paid to do the test forever. So that's good. I think it's $10. And then if you fail it, 24 hours later, you can try again. So you can do it every night until you get it. That may be one way to do it, but I have no intention of doing that. I got to do some of the reading because I'd rather know the stuff than not. But getting the information is a pain in the ass because we don't have a training guide because Canadian government's not going to put one out. They're making you go to the weather area, the aircraft area, and they have high-level rules. It's not a straightforward thing, especially for the beginner. It should be. It's a light license for basic guys who want to fly in certain areas, and they're quite restrictive. The rules, like you can't fly over people, which is good. I have to be away from certain people, and the field I use is way up in the boonies on a MAC field, so that's irrelevant. And you should not be flying on sports fields in the city because they're not approved. And then you got liability. That's why I joined MAC, so I get insurance. So all of that stuff. So realistically, the MAC guy should have been left alone. But anyways, I will study, get the stuff, take some time this year, and get my wings proper because I'd like to do that because I need to get out of the house. I can't just be doing computers all the time. And if I'm in the house, then there'll be more computer crap. Got a couple projects I'm working on. One of them is I'm waiting for a whole bunch of parts coming because I want to test some stuff on the Arduinos. Raspberry Pi, not yet too much. I do a lot on it, but mostly use them as servers. The Arduinos, I want to start doing some programming, mostly in C, and set up some sensors and all that. They're cheap when you buy them offshore. When you buy them here, they're expensive as hell. Got a Commodore 64 over here that I need to fix. Got all the parts. I'm just waiting for a power converter to come in. I've got, what's that for? I've got a, where did I put it? Oh, I dumped it up here. I have a reworking station, which has soldering iron and a heat type thing for, what do they call it? For onboard chips when you have your motherboards on them. They're not pinned. They're surface mount. So I've got a soldering iron to do non-surface mount, and I've got another device that pushes heat on and allows you to take surface mount stuff off it. So I got that. And then also coming in, I've got a really cheap soldering iron / solder sucker. It only runs on 200 volts, so that's the problem. I've got a transformer coming in, actually a really nice good one. That'll take 120 volts, convert it to 220, Chinese voltages. The plus for that is when I'm using it, I'll use it. When I'm done, I unplug it. The one I've ordered has got 1500 watts, and I want that because my rework station is a nice one, but for some reason they sent me 220. It seems like on that model there's only 220. There's not 110. I could change the coil or rewind it and get it to a pile of guys have done that, and I'm thinking, why bother? Just order a freaking transformer. They're reasonable in cost. I'm not going to tell you the price because you may think I'm nuts. But anyways, when I have that with a 1500 watts, it allows me to take anything from anywhere and use it. So now I have flexibility on tools. Because when I'm working on soldering, long as I get the right voltage, I don't give a damn. It'll give me what I need. And it also, if you actually want a desoldering station, you can get a good one at 120 volts for about $200. But if you have 200 volts or 220 volts, you can actually get an economical poor man's version that actually works pretty good for about $35. So the truth was, buy the transformer and buy that other device, and it's cheaper in the short term. Long term, I'll probably get a better soldering station and whatever, and that's what I'll do. But for today, I need to start somewhere, and I don't want to spend a fortune until I find I really like it. And even at that, I'm not going to spend a fortune. So back to my old days of electronics, coming back, playing with it. And then I got my 3D printer I got to play with. That one, I got to change the controller card. I've got an Arduino controller card on it, which is okay. But I've actually got a smoothie board. I'll show you what a smoothie board looks like. for the guys. Oh, I'm back. Okay. This is a smoothie board. On these boards, what they do is the top ones here actually run the servoids to run the motors going and up and down. So we have an X, Y, and a Z. And then we have an E0 and an E1. That's for running. E0 and E1 is for running the print head. The problem I have is currently I'm running one print head, so I'm okay with that on the 3D printer. I have a dual print head going on eventually. Normally have an X, Y, and a Z, but because of the type of printer I have, I actually have two verticals, actually two Zs. So I am actually going to jumper my board. If you see it here, you'll notice the purple and the green. That's the Z. So I've actually used the second print head, overrode it, so I can run the two motors, the two stepper motors, because that system has 5 stepper motors right now. One for printing the print head, for bringing the filament in, and then you have going back, going up to, and going across the other way. And then they've the other connectors on the side are the bump stops. So you have the left and the right, the front and the back, and up and down. So you got to do that. And then down the bottom, you got the temperature sensors, I think it is. I think. And the nice thing about this one, compared to the Arduinos, you got to compile the code to do changes. This one, you just install the code and on this little memory chip. Put one of these on. The OS comes from there. It boots up, so like Windows, but Linux. And in here, you just update the config file. It's a standard text file. You say what kind of mechanism you're using and all that, and boom, you're good to go. Easier to program. It also has a web interface. And I got to see what the latest smoothie board software is because I want to upload it, get it on here. And then on top of that, you get a display. So the smoothie board will have a display where you can do all your crap on it. This one also has a Wi-Fi chip on the back. It has another memory chip here, so you can load on your, what do we got on this one? 16 gig, wow. So I can put in the images and all that kind of stuff and go from there. So I've actually replaced this board once already. I fried one because I was an idiot. This one is good. The other one I may fix one day when I decide to figure out which chip died. I'm not going to do that right now because I don't know how many I killed on the other one. But this is a working one, so the plan is to implement that. Well, probably one of the rainy summer days we have. And the reason I want to change the board is on the 3D printer, I was using screws for going up and down, and now what I'm using, there's another name for them. It's a much finer and better threaded system used for that. So it's a proper type of thread device. I should know the name, but I can't remember it, so so what? So, and the amount of turns going up and down is considerably different. So if I put back the old threads, it wouldn't be an issue. I could just use my 3D printer as is. But I don't want to do that. And then I also want to start putting on stuff on the 3D printer like self-leveling and all that kind of stuff. So that makes it easier. So one more pet project. So I got drones, 3D printer. I like to get that going so I can play with it. Commodore 64 I need to fix. And other pet projects. Because I actually want to set up a few things for my World of Google. Don't talk Google. Because if I can program some stuff, I can have some fun. Like today, can manage the garage, can manage all the sound and lighting in the house, manage the fans, the air conditioning. But I'd also like to set up some sensors. I've found some really cool sensors on the web for like $2. And if I put them on a little Arduino, or I put them on a little micro Arduino with Wi-Fi on it, I can connect it to, say, a VPN that I have, or to a private LAN just for that. That would then send me alerts in the house, or Google could talk to me and say, hey, the postman's coming, or someone's at the front door before they get there. That's what I like to do. It'd also be really good at nighttime so we can spot people moving around. Just because I can, it's something to learn. So a lot of electronic stuff I'm playing with. Did a couple, and just the other thing I did is a whole bunch of PC upgrades. But anyways, I do that for the family, do it for myself. Okay, I think I'm done. Just ran to the day. Hasta la vista. And you have a good day, and I'll get better topics over time. I just wanted to go on and just rant. Didn't want to plan. See ya.